Good morning, Bradley here. Let's play a little jazz vinyl tag for 2022. These questions were put forth by Chris at Tunes at the Man Cave. Great channel. Originals, that's what Chris is about. So it's always fun to watch him get a new original jazz album. So let's start out. Question number one: what is your favorite jazz find of 2021? This one I picked up last year. I had ordered Katanga by Curtis Amy, but through Amazon, and they kept delaying it and delaying it, and finally, after months, they said, well, we don't have it. So actually, I was searching for Victor Feldman on the internet, and this album popped up. It's Curtis Amy, Way Down, with Victor Feldman. I think this is similar to Katanga a little bit. It's fantastic, fantastic music. This is on a Spanish album, or a Spanish label, the Jazz Workshop. Says it was limited to 500 copies, newly remastered, and I don't think this was ever out on CD, so it's probably from the original tapes. Fantastic, fantastic album if you like Curtis Amy especially. Okay, question number two: what was your favorite jazz reissue from 2021? I didn't get a lot of reissues from 2021. I kind of scaled back a little bit, but a couple Mingus reissues on the Acoustic Sounds Verve/Impulse label came out, and so I did get both of those. So I will show one of them. It's Mingus 5 times. Mingus. Excellent. I love these Acoustic Sound reissues. I think all these songs, I think he had recorded them earlier in his career, so he re-recorded them, and it sounds fantastic. Excellent. Oh well, try to do that later. Okay, question number three. What is your favorite new jazz release of 2021? This one I put off getting for months, and I don't know why, because I knew I would finally get it. So I did. The Cookers, Look Out. This is a double album, but it's only got 3 sides. The last one is etched. This is fantastic. It is a septet. Most of these musicians are older, and they played with everybody, all the biggies in their past. 2 of them are younger. Just think of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Hard Bop. That's what this is, and they're all original songs, I think, and they sound, to my ears, just as good as a Jazz Messenger album. Really good. Number 4, show a saxophone-led session. This album is probably in my top 5, I would think. Sonny Rollins, Alfie. And the arrangement is done by Oliver Nelson. So what was this, 65 maybe, 1965. I love this kind of sound. It's kind of like a big band arranged with Sonny Rollins. Fantastic. One of my favorites. Number 5, show a trumpet-led session. My favorite trumpet player is Freddie Hubbard. So, just about any Freddie Hubbard. This is an Impulse. I cannot take it out of the jacket. Artistry of Freddie Hubbard. So you've got, who do you have? It's an excellent album. Curtis Fuller, trombone. Tommy Flanagan, piano. John Gilmore, tenor sax. Art Davis on bass, and Louis Hayes on drums. Fantastic Freddie Hubbard. Okay, number 6, a guitar-led session. This one I picked up off of Amazon. It is on one of those EU labels, but I was not actually familiar with this original album. I think it was Argo, maybe. Anyhow, sound quality is fantastic. You know, I usually don't buy the EU versions. Kenny Burrell, live at the Vanguard. This is killer. You can just smell the cigarette smoke. You can actually smell the scotch. This is a perfect kind of a laid-back live session guitar. Number 7, show an organ-led session. This is an artist who I never used to care for that much, but in the last few years I've really gotten into. Organ player, a female, Shirley Scott, great Scott. Now this one is orchestra conducted by Oliver Nelson. 1964. And actually Shirley sings, what is it, 1 or 2 songs on here. I know she sings one, and wow, I was amazed. The vocals. She could have been a jazz singer instead of an organ player. But her style, well, the sound of her Hammond is different from, usually different than Jimmy Smith. They each had their own registrations on the organ, so you can kind of pick out Shirley's style of playing. Number 8, a piano-led session. I'll go with the double H. Herbie Hancock, Maiden Voyage. It's got George Coleman, tenor sax, does an excellent job. Freddie Hubbard, okay, on trumpet. Ron Carter, bass, and Tony Williams on drums, one of Tony's early albums. The title track, Maiden Voyage, absolutely love it. It just makes you feel like you're by the ocean on a boat, actually, due to Tony Williams' use of ride cymbals or whatever. Sounds excellent. Number 9, a trombone-led session. There's not too many trombone players, really, that have become famous. This is one of them. He was very popular on Blue Note. Curtis Fuller, Cabin in the Sky. Actually, this is an Impulse release, probably from, what year would it be? Probably 62, maybe. It was one of the early Impulse albums. Now this is an orchestrated album, arranged and conducted by Manny Album. Cabin in the Sky. It was originally a 1940 play, and then they later made it into a movie in the 40s, featuring all-black cast, singers, musicians. So Curtis Fuller, I think he watched the movie when he was growing up, and he loved this music. And this is excellent, excellent. Big band type with him on trombone. Number 10, show a jazz funk album. I will show a soul jazz funk album. This is a current group. I think I have all their albums. I love them. Delvin Lamar, organ trio, Cold as Weiss. Just think of Booker T and the MGs with more funk. That's kind of what they are. Three-piece. Jimmy James plays guitar. Usually has a lot of reverb on his guitar. Sounds fantastic. This was a kind of a deluxe reissue, so it's got the blue vinyl. Also comes with the CD and a 45. Delvin Lamar Organ Trio. Check them out. Number 11, a jazz fusion album. This would be a jazz funk fusion album. There, I got it out. I love this group. They're a current group. I've got a few of their albums. This is a double album. It's Colcha Bolcha by Snarky Puppy. Snarky Puppy, they are originally from Texas, North Texas. They usually have like 15 members, more or less, in the group. Probably 5 of them are kind of consistent members. The rest of them drift in and out. So you're going to have 3 percussionists, 3 guitar players, 3 keyboardists, a couple bassists, and 3 horns. You get the picture. Really good, excellent fusion, funk fusion band. Snarky Puppy. Number 12, show an underappreciated album by an artist you love. This album, as far as jazz, is it my favorite jazz album? I don't know. It's either first or second. And nobody else really shows this too often, but I love it. I got this on Discogs a few years ago, so it's an original. Shelly Manne, 2-3-4. So the 2-3-4 comes from duet, trio, and quartet. So there's a duet on here with Coleman and Hawkins, then you have a trio, and also a quartet. Excellent musicians. Shelly Manne. Now this would not be, it's not free jazz. I wouldn't even call it avant-garde. I would call it eclectic. Excellent album. Coleman Hawkins sounds wonderful on here. Okay, number 13, a live jazz album. This is a current artist. I've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 albums by Christian McBride. This is the Christian McBride Trio, live at the Village Vanguard. Double album. This was 2015. It's on Mack Avenue Records out of Detroit, which their pressings and recordings sound, basically they sound audiophile. Trio sounds fantastic. Christian McBride. Okay, now we're up to number 14, a supergroup jazz album. This is a little different. There's 3 albums in this, 3 records in this album. It is Chick Corea, the musician. So there's 3 albums, a lot of music. Whoa, and it's all live. So basically this was, it says in 2011, Chick threw a month-long birthday party at the Blue Note Jazz Club in Greenwich Village. There were 46 shows, 10 bands, 30 of the greatest musicians in history. So they're not all playing together, but through various combinations. So you've got the original Return to Forever lineup. Bobby McFerrin is on here. Gary Burton is on a couple songs. Wynton Marsalis, the Harlem String Quartet, Herbie Hancock. And a lot of these are different incarnations of the different bands that Chick Corea had been in for many years. This is really, really good. There's so much music on here. Sounds good. Number 15, show an album featuring your favorite artist as a sideman. Okay, now this is not, I wouldn't call him my favorite artist, probably my favorite drummer, and that would be Shelly Manne. This is, and he played on this album, Sonny Rollins, Way Out West. A three-piece group, Ray Brown on bass, Shelly Manne drums, and Sonny Rollins. So there's no guitar or piano on here. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this album. It was on Contemporary originally. This is an OJC pressing, I'm sure. It's one of those contemporary albums that were just recorded perfectly. And Shelly's drums on this, like I'm an Old Cowhand, you know, it almost sounds like the spokes of a wheel. Fantastic. So very original drum playing on there. Number 16, show a jazz album more people should know about. Well, there's lots of those. So I just picked this. This came out last year. First became aware of this artist during the pandemic. Every week he would televise 2 or 3 shows from his apartment in New York on YouTube, on his YouTube channel. Excellent piano player, Emmett Cohen. This is called Future Stride. So he has a bass player and a drummer playing with them, and then on this album occasionally a couple songs have sax or probably trumpet on here. But the mainstay, the 3 members, they've been playing together for a long time, and they're all pretty young. So when they go into improvisation on their YouTube videos, they know exactly what everybody's going to be doing, so, and they can follow each other. Sounds fantastic. So Emmett Cohen, excellent artist. Number 17, show an album by a jazz artist that should have been bigger. I had a couple ideas on this, but I'm going to go with Tina Brooks, Minor Move. This is a tone poet, and I think they have another Tina Brooks tone poet, which I have. Is it The Waiting Game or something like that? Really good stuff, really good stuff. Lee Morgan, Sonny Clark, Doug Watkins, Art Blakey. Yeah, this is a really nice sounding album. And Tina, when he was alive, I don't know if there was only one or a couple Blue Note albums that were released when he was living, I think. Okay, we're up to number 18, a vocal jazz album. This, I think I showed in my last video. I just got it last month. I love this singer. It's Freda Payne on Impulse. 1964, maybe? After the Lights Go Down Low, and much more. Now, Freda Payne, she had a big pop hit in 1970, A Band of Gold, which I always love that song. Great guitar hook, great vocals. So I went and got this, fantastic. The first side is kind of like orchestrated music, sounds wonderful. Second side is more of a smaller jazz group, equally as wonderful. Okay, number 19, an album that not many know about, but I enjoy. Well, nowadays a few more people know about it. This was on Decca, and Acoustic Sounds reissued it last year in their Impulse Verve series, and I'm talking about George Russell. New York, New York. 1959, maybe? More of a big band orchestrated type of music. Sounds wonderful. Excellent sound quality. George Russell, he was an educator, and a good composer. This is really good. It's got John Hendricks doing narration. New York, New York. Okay, number 20. A record you hope to find in 2022. I don't have a lot of specific records that I'm looking for. Maybe Illumination by Elvin Jones. Possibly Africa Brass by Coltrane. Those two are kind of hard to find. But also, I'll continue to look for Impulse albums from the early mid-60s. And lately I've gotten into Strata East albums. I've just got a couple the other day. So, whatever. Number 21, a new release that you are looking forward to. That kind of goes along with the last question. I don't think there's any particular release that I'm looking forward to, but I'll keep my eyes on Tone Poets and also the Verve Impulse Acoustic Sound series. And the last question, number 22. If your house is on fire, what do you do? No, that's not the question. What album do you save? Only one. I don't know. As I said before, 234 by Shelly Manne. Maybe. But if I only had one album, that means I would have to restart my collection from zero. So I would just go with this one. Kinda Blue, Miles Davis. It was one of the first jazz albums that I really got into. And also, you know, Time Out by Dave Brubeck. But I'd probably go for this one. Good place to start. So, anyhow, that's my jazz vinyl tag for 2022. So thanks to Chris from Tunes from the Man Cave for these questions. I haven't watched a lot so far. I will very shortly, and I'll be commenting on most of them. So anyhow, that's all for today. Everybody take it easy. See you next time.